The misdemeanor charges against Johnny Bones Jones has been dropped. Here's what's going down. The misdemeanor charges against Jon Bones Jones that took place in February in Albuquerque, New Mexico, involving leaving the scene of an accident have been dismissed per court records. And this is via Damon Martin over there at MMA Fighting. Jon Jones, case dismissed. If you recall, there was a big video saying Jon was in the car. There was a woman there. She didn't have, she wasn't dressed from the waist down. And she claimed Jon Jones gave her some mushrooms and alcohol. What a bizarre story. Once again, I don't know how he does it. Jon Bones Jones gets off on more charges. What do you guys think about this one? Unbelievable, huh? Unbelievable. Moving right along. Alexander Volkanovski. Wait, hold on. UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski has this to say about Conor McGregor in a fight. He was a great fighter. He was actually even a bit ahead of his time. He's going to be reasonably sharp, but he's never going to be that same Conor McGregor. Alexander Volkanovski, keeping it real. Keeping it real. Conor McGregor's 37, running for president of Ireland. And he said yesterday he has enough votes to run in November. He says he has enough votes. So now they'll have a presidential election and campaign, and we'll see what happens in November. Conor McGregor, President Conor McGregor. Oh my. Oof. Coach Javier Mendez, Khabib's coach, a.k.a. coach, Islam Makhachev's coach, warns Jack Della Maddalena to not underestimate Islam Makhachev's striking ahead of their UFC 322 title fight at Madison Square Garden in New York. Here's what he had to say on Submission Radio. If he's saying that, I hope that he's going and believing that because then he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story. I've been with this kid, like going on 11 years of watching him destroy everybody on the stand-up. JDM versus Islam stand-up? How do you think that one would go down? I'd like to see it. I was impressed with Islam in his stand-up versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier. I was very impressed. Islam was busted up. He just stood there and traded. He finished it with a submission, but he definitely threw hands and kicks and showed everybody he's a well-rounded fighter. Do I think Islam can defeat GDM on the feet? No. I think Islam's going to take him down. He's going to put him in a choke, Darce choke, submit him, and he's going to become a 2-division UFC champion. That's what I think is going to happen in Madison Square Garden in November. I think Islam Makhachev gets it done. I really do. Nothing against Jack Della Maddalena, but I just think he gets it done. Usman Nurmagomedov had this to say about his resume compared to Ilia Topuria's resume. Ilia Topuria has 2 UFC titles. Usman Nurmagomedov, 0. Here's what Usman had to say. How many fights does he have? 14? I have 14 finishes in my career. That's Usman Nurmagomedov taking a shot at El Matador, Ilia Topuria. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. Guy's got 2 titles, right? You got 0, right? Had title defenses at 145. He's going to make another one here, probably against Gaethje in December. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Arman versus maybe Dan Hooker or Patty. And I'm hearing Gaethje versus Ilia in December. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, not official, just some people saying things. Yeah, I think Usman's off on this one. What do you guys think? Drop a comment, let me know. Interesting, but not really. Kind of silly. Colby Covington is trying to stay relevant in the news. Colby Covington disappears for months and years and doesn't fight. Colby Covington is still ranked number 10 in the official UFC welterweight rankings. Makes no sense to me. I don't think he's won in like 3 or 4 years. Anyway, here's what Colby Chaos Covington had to say about Dustin the Diamond Poirier and Paddy Pimblett. He says, Dustin Poirier has been scared of my shadow for years. For years. He knows he can't beat me. He's not even willing to try like his friend Jorge Masvidal. He's going to go into retirement knowing that I owned his soul. He didn't defend his family's honor. Colby Covington taking sheep shots after Dustin Poirier retires. Colby Covington has no class, man. None. He also said yesterday, he said, Paddy Pimblett's terrible. He's a weight bully. He should move up to 170. I'm like, how can Colby even call anybody out? You're supposed to call people out when you get wins, right? How about you get a win, bro? Huh? How about you get a win? See what happens, right? Right? You just get your ass beat by Joanne Buckley. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I usually don't give these opinions much on these videos. It's mostly facts, you know. But today I'm going to give you a little opinion. Colby rubs me the wrong way. I met Colby once. Nice guy, though. Real nice. Very nice. Lerone Murphy plays matchmaker for the UFC featherweight title picture. Lerone undefeated. Just coming off that nasty spinning back elbow KO. Here's what Lerone had to say. I think it should be me versus Volk and Masvar versus the winner of Silva versus Lopez at UFC Noche for the #1 contender spot. If I win, I will love to defend it in the UK in March 2026. Wow, Lerone Murphy calling his shots, and I like it. I really do. I like it. Get out there in the social media, fighters, right? Stir some feathers, right? Get some views, get some followers. Piss some people off a little bit. Give your opinion. Don't be afraid to use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I know, I've seen it help people's careers. It helped Paddy's career immensely. Yeah, definitely. I love it. Frank Trigg, former UFC fighter Frank Trigg, and now referee Frank Trigg, says Khabib Nurmagomedov matches would have been very different if certain UFC rules existed. Frank Trigg was on the Jackson podcast and said, if knees to the grounded opponent were legal, Khabib probably wouldn't have won all those fights. Go check out Jackson podcast episode with Frank Trigg. It's a wonderful episode. Very, very, talking to fighters that have fought in the ring and now they're been coaching and now they're refereeing. Incredible insight. And check it out, Jackson Podcast YouTube. Let's see. We got UFC Paris this weekend. You got Nasruddin Imavov, #1 contender at 205 pounds, versus Kai Barajo. And that's going down Saturday, late afternoon on the East Coast. And then the co-main event, Mauricio Ruffy versus Benoit Saint Denis. Those two co-main event and main event for a non-pay-per-view card. Absolute bangers. All right, fight fans, that's all I got today. Check out santostudios.com, jackson.com, and Jackson Podcast.